I have a friend who managed to embarrass herself 3 times her first week in London. And it wasn't because of her English. Her English was brilliant. It was because of British etiquette. If you plan on traveling, living, or working here, these unwritten social rules will save you from any awkward moments. I'm Hannah, and today in this lesson, I'm going to help you navigate life in the UK like a local. Let's start with number 1, the golden rule of politeness. Politeness and manners in the UK are not optional. They are the bedrock of our society in a way. They are the foundation. I've talked about this a lot on the channel, but it is so true. We say sorry for everything. Someone else bumps into us, we say sorry. Oh no, sorry, oh sorry, no, my fault, sorry. We make every other word please and thank you. Please could you put the kettle on for me, please? Thank you, thank you. If I open a door for someone, they go through and don't say thank you, it's considered quite rude. So, when in doubt, just say sorry and you will fit right in. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry, my fault, sorry, sorry. So yes, the please, sorries and thank yous are important. But here is the trick. Being too direct can also seem rude, even if you are saying please or thank you. Let's take an example. You're sitting at the table with other British people and you need the salt. So you say, pass that here, please. Pass that here, please. On paper, that's fine, but even for us, that's too direct. Would you mind please passing that to me? Would you mind please passing that to me? Or could you please pass that to me? Could you please pass that to me? That is a lot politer than pass that to me. I even watched a video recently and someone who wasn't an English speaker apologized for the background noise and just said, there's nothing I can do about that. By British standards, that's a bit too direct. We would say, sorry, there's not really anything I can do about that, rather than there's nothing I can do about that. Those are the subtle nuances and differences that can really trip people up. So it's not just about the please, thank yous, and sorries. It's also about not being too direct. Learn these phrases. Would you mind doing this for me, please? Would you mind carrying this over there? Would you mind calling me a taxi, please? Would you mind holding the lift for me, please? Or please could you pick that up for me? Please could you put the kettle on? Part 2 is about mastering the art of small talk. We use small talk a lot in the UK, and by small talk, I mean general chat about unimportant topics. It is a British art form, and yes, one of our favourite topics is the weather, of course. And so, when a British person says to you, oh, lovely day, isn't it? They're not just talking about the weather, they are inviting you to chat. Let's talk about some other safe topics. So obviously you have the weather, weekend plans, train delays or travel delays, any sort of travel, traffic, for example, travel in any shape or form, and travel delays in particular. Pets, that's also another safe one. And of course, tea. Avoid these danger zones. Money, politics, personal questions like, why aren't you married yet? Or how much do you earn? With your close friends, these are okay, well, depending on the friend. But British people, we don't discuss money. We don't tend to go into politics just in case the other person will have wildly opposing views to ours. Again, it's okay once you know someone a bit better, but it's not something you would discuss on a first meeting or when someone is more of an acquaintance than a friend. No money talk, no politics, and avoid personal questions. If your mind goes blank when you're talking to a British person, try this. Yes, finally some sunshine. Do you think it will last? Or if it's a horrible day, hopefully it will brighten up later. Fingers crossed. That's textbook British friendliness right there. And by the way, I've made a free British etiquette cheat sheet. So if that would be useful to you or that's of interest to you, click on the link in the description below. Also, drop in the comments if you have ever had an awkward British small talk moment. I promise I read every single one of them. All right, let's talk now about personal space and queuing. British people love our personal, private bubbles. Standing too closely or talking too loudly to us, instant discomfort. And when it comes to queues, we don't just stand in them, we believe in them. We relish the queue. I've talked about this before. A big no-no, a big cultural faux pas, as we say, is to cut the queue or jump the queue. If you do that, oof, you will get so many passive-aggressive stares. You'll have people exchange glances like, who is this? How dare they? But because we're so polite, we won't say anything. You might get a quiet, furious, passive-aggressive, excuse me, there's a queue. It starts over there. That would be typical. Another no-no, never jump a queue in the UK, ever. Under any circumstances, unless maybe your arm is falling off or something. And if you are unsure where the queue starts, try this. Excuse me, is this the queue for, or is this where the queue starts? People will adore you for that. Have any of you been to the UK and experienced our fierce queuing culture? Again, let me know. Let's move on to conversation etiquette. British conversation is like a dance where nobody wants to step on each other's toes. So we use softeners to keep things gentle. By that, I mean kind of, a bit, I suppose. Again, it's all about not being overly direct. So we tend to soften everything we say. If you're interested in typical British traits, I have a couple of videos where I go over those, so make sure you have a look if you find this interesting. But a typical British person tends to soften everything that we say. So we would never say to someone, you're completely wrong. We would say, I'm not sure if that's right, or I'm not sure if I completely agree with that. Not, you're wrong. We wouldn't really say that. I'm not sure I completely agree. Not even agree with you. I'm not sure I completely agree, instead of you are wrong. It's just less sharp. It stabs slightly less. And as I said before, instead of saying there's nothing I can do, we would say, I'm afraid there's not really anything I can do. And another golden one, don't ever brag. Even if someone gives you a compliment, don't say, I know. Oh, you're brilliant at this. Oh, I know. Again, that's just very un-British. Instead, say something like, oh, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. We like understatement. We don't like things being too boastful, too over the top, too loud. Understatement is elegance in disguise. And the next one, it's the mistake that everyone makes at work. Let's talk about being at work or in public. In British workplaces, we are friendly, but professional. We would say hi, not hey, or morning. Morning, Steve. Morning, Tracy. And emails usually start with hi, name, or dear, name, slightly more formal, dear, or hello, name, or even good morning, good afternoon. And we sign off with kind regards, best wishes. This doesn't apply to everyone, but for me personally, I find regards a bit passive aggressive. Some people just naturally sign off regards to everything, so don't take it personally if you receive an email. But for me, if I'm angry, I sign off regards. So when I receive an email that might be interpreted as annoyed and someone has signed off regards, I read that as passive aggression. So to be safe, I would go for kind regards. We don't overshare and we don't shout about our achievements. Oh, and if someone says to you, oh, we must meet for a coffee at some point, or we must grab a coffee soon, they might mean never. They might mean it, but they might not. Sometimes it's polite enthusiasm rather than an actual plan. As I said, if this would be helpful, make sure to grab your free British etiquette cheat sheet below. You can also get another free PDF with 20 expressions we often use. So, in summary, to survive everyday life in the UK, be polite, not pushy, queue like a pro, master the weather chat and general small talk, and remember, understatement is the secret to British charm. Tell me in the comments what's the most confusing or funniest British habit you have noticed. And do you have any habits like that where you're from? Again, I would be fascinated to know. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you are interested in British culture, make sure you have a look at this playlist where I go over more things like this. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.